Hey there.
Hello, Barbara here. Barbara
Hey,
Petty
Barbara.
here.
Hi, how
Hey,
you doing? Did
all
you
right, how
dial
you
in?
doing?
Good. You dialed my
Yeah.
number
Oh, okay.
instead of the Zoom call.
Well, this is the number Linda just gave me.
Hmm. This is my phone number.
Give her your number.
My number is
What
7.
number?
Barbara, you're on.
No. Hey guys, it was me. Sorry, I sent you the. Ms. Sandra, I sent the meeting notice to you, and it just happened to bring you directly in, just in case you didn't have it or were looking for it. That's why I started ringing on your end, and then Barbara called the number.
Barbara's on. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for it now. What day?
You don't need to. You're already in. You're in.
Yeah, but I'm on my phone though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to be on my computer.
Okay.
But I'll stay on my phone until I can get in on my computer. Okay.
Okay.
Because what I see is the January 21st one. I don't know how I got that far back. Okay, is Fred on?
No.
Okay. DEC welcome. Was the link in the welcome?
No, it was after I sent that. I sent the welcome before I sent the meeting notice.
Okay. All righty. Did it come from your name, D Scott?
No, it came from the ECDBC Outlook. ECDBC _ at outlook.com. See it.
ECDBC.
Fred is on now.
Okay.
Let's see. I can look. Give me 1 second and tell you if I can re-forward it to you. Let's see.
Oh no, I see it.
Okay, you got it.
I see Facebook and I see the agenda. Is it in that?
No, that was the forward after. Here, let me grab it.
Okay.
It could be on your calendar. That may be why you're not seeing it, because I sent it out as a calendar announcement, a calendar request. But let me grab it.
Okay. Okay, did you send it to me again on
that's what I'm doing now here. Let's see. I'll forward it to you, and this is SA.
NDR.
So, yep. It's going to your Gmail now. It should be a calendar meeting notice. I don't think I have it as a normal email, but it'll go into your inbox.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Here you're in. She's in. Fred, can you hear us?
I can now. Yes, I can now.
Okay, wonderful.
The right button. I got the right button. Give me a second, please.
Okay.
I was out in the yard. It was such a beautiful day. I couldn't help it. Had to go out there. Ooh. Welcome to. Hey, Derek.
Hello?
Yep, we're here.
Yeah, we start the meeting. We got a roll call. We have me and Derek, Mary Dillon,
Mary Dillon, Sandra McCrary, and Barbara Petty.
Okay,
is on as well on call. If you see the green phone icon, that's her.
Linda Scott.
Hmm?
Linda Scott. Linda.
Yep, she's there. Unmute yourself.
Hey, Linda, man. Hey, Linda.
I'm here.
Well, Linda, you there. Like that background.
Thank you.
Background. Okay. We're gonna start the meeting. We got six people. Got six.
Yes.
I think that's the quorum. We'll go with that. We have meeting call to order. We have the prayer. Do the honors, Sandra.
If we would bow our heads, Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for your goodness and your mercy. We thank you for providing us this opportunity one more time to say thank you, Lord. We ask you to bless this meeting of the Escambia County Democratic Black Caucus. We're asking that the meeting be in order. We ask you to bless those that are on the call, bless those that are coming on the call. Forgive us all for our sins. In Jesus' name we pray, and for his sake, amen.
Amen. Thank you. We at the last meeting we had 5 people. We didn't really. There wasn't quite a quorum at the last meeting. As far as the minutes are concerned, and Linda, you there, and then your son Derek. We getting minutes down. Linda and Derek, we getting minutes down as of now.
No, I think what we decided based on, I went back and looked at the recording from last month, because there was no official meeting. We didn't take any minutes or anything. It was just a relatively informal conversation that didn't even last 30 minutes, I believe. So that we didn't have anything from the last meeting. So nothing to adopt or ratify.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Linda, could you position to do that? Or are you going to defer to your son Derek to take the minutes? That secretary.
You're on mute.
Okay, I'll do it.
Isn't the Zoom recorded, Derek?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
recorded. So we do have that.
I'll
to
do it and
use as well in
transcribe it.
addition to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Super duper. Okay. We have a very long meeting today. A couple of key points. One thing is the election process. I stepped back and talked with Linda last week or so ago. She said, "Well, since you didn't have the candidates attached to the notice of the meeting, then we need to go back and punt a little bit." She said that the officers must be in April. The deadline for the officers in April. If you want to have your election in April, that's fine, as long as you get the officers into the state office by end of April. And that's the last hard deadline is April, end of April. So she said that we do that. And for that to be done, we must appoint a committee, a nominating committee to take names who want to run for office and so forth. Okay. Last time we did that, I think we had Phil Air was the chairman of the committee last time. Phil Air, they appointed him back in, I guess, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago actually, and he had a process. I'm not calling Phil this time on this issue. Need a committee though. I think the president appoints a committee, I believe, or the executive board does, and all in the same one, I guess, at this point in time. Hopefully, once we get this office thing done going forward, and COVID subsides some, more people attending the meetings, and also we get our offices back in full swing too. Our treasurer and our secretary back in full swing, and other officers we have on board. Since you're running the thing with, I guess, with Derek, Sandra, myself, actually, in terms of the technical parts of the organization the last year or so because of COVID, but we can expand that going forward and have a full working executive board. We get attendance to the main group, but a full working executive board and get some committees also lined out, if you will. I do want to run for one more term as president, so let me tell you guys that right now. For the nominating committee, I hadn't thought about two people getting Phil Air back again as to be at the committee, or maybe Lawrence Powell as the nominating committee. He's not gonna. He's like the VP last time, of course. He didn't serve in that capacity hardly any, but he was the official VP was actually. But leave the Lawrence. He's a member. Lawrence Powell as the nominating committee chair, and then set a timetable for the election for one, and secondly, the time to get the nominations into the committee. Anyone got any thoughts on those comments at all?
Yeah, I do. Just the first thing is with regards to who you put in terms of the nominating committee. I think if Lawrence Powell, is that Reverend Powell? Is that the same individual?
Yes.
Okay. So I think he would be fine. It's provided he agreed. Phil, I think could serve as in the capacity as well, but you have to keep in mind that Phil is not as you outlined last year with those individuals being paid their dues by the respective deadline. He did not do so, so he technically wouldn't be a member at this point. Now, I think he could still submit his dues, but he wouldn't be eligible to vote. But I don't know how that works with respect to him serving as on the nominating committee.
Well, I agree. He has the same thought actually. He's paid his dues now actually, a week after the deadline. But he paid his dues, so you guys know that. But I agree with that analysis. He's not a member as of February 28th, and therefore an active member as pursuant to these election processes. He can't vote and so forth. So there's a thought, if you will, Derek.
Okay.
Lawrence Powell, he will accept this.
I'm glad to hear that he paid his dues.
Yeah, because I need to update the membership information that I have to reflect that as well.
Lawrence Powell, he would accept the task of being the nominating chair. He would do that for us. I spoke with him. I'm looking for the committee makeup. We had to think was one. Phil was committee one last time, actually, I believe. I can't quite recall, but when it gets two people in the committee, at least have two more people in the committee as the committee. Besides Mr. Powell, who else would you think of, Sandra? If they would accept the task. You want Lawrence to get his own people in the committee. What's the best feasible way to get it done? And
Well, the person who is running for office, of course, cannot be on the committee.
Right.
So that would eliminate everybody on this call except for Mary, because Barbara is an officer. I'm an officer. Derek, you're the technology committee, but then Mary is our new member. She might be interested in being on the committee, but all of the rest of us are officers already.
I think the big would be to make sure we clearly outline what is the responsibility of the committee and the committee members. What would they be tasked on doing? And
Getting people to run for each office. Yeah, so we need to get that down. Yep.
Yeah, in terms of time commitment, so everybody knows exactly what it is they're signing up for.
Well, they would take it in nominations. We would set a deadline for that, then nominations to be sent in, and then they would tabulate the nominations, and they would decide on. They would, in essence, make a committee does decide on who those two people who asked to be on to run for a certain office. Once the committee would give out to the general body as their recommendation. That's what it would do.
Well, we've got to have people to nominate, folks, or people volunteer to run as you have for president. But we got to have those people notify the committee that they're interested in running, or someone on this call nominate individuals to run for office.
I think we do. I think we do the email process. With that being said, Derek, you're right. We need to make sure. Good job, Derek and Sandra. That membership process is February 28th. The membership process then. Most of them had emails on the applications that Derek has all those names. Do you have those, Derek? Okay.
I did. Thanks to Ms. Sandra, she sent it to me. I've got everybody. What everybody should have received who is a current member for this calendar year. Everybody received, or hopefully received, the welcome. I don't know, Fred, if you got it. I think you should have, because I took everybody out and then added everybody back in. So you should have gotten a welcome to the Democratic Black Caucus
Great.
email that was sent on Tuesday. That would indicate everybody who is currently a voting member for this calendar year. The only exception to that was one individual.
She's in your office, Fred. Her email was,
Tammy,
Incorrect.
yeah, was declined, was
Tammy
returned.
Holly.
yeah, Tammy, Tammy
Hey,
Holly.
Brian, how are you?
Hey, Brian.
I'm doing well. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Tammy Holly, yes, Tammy Holly, exactly.
Yeah, she is the only individual that did not receive it. She, of course, is a voting member, but I don't know if she was made aware of the meeting because I didn't have the email address that was provided is not, it bounced back as invalid.
Okay, I want to check with her there on that. Okay, super. Yeah, I was saying, great. You know, advise the membership, the voting members, good adjective of the nomination process. Those who want to nominate someone for office, they got a list of the membership. They can do that if they desire to do so. I think that's the best way to get that info to them, doing some kind of email to them indicating, one, that the election is going to be so-and-so date, and the committee does exist, and the nominate someone if they would. So I think that's the best way to get that to them, Sandra, in terms of a notification.
But the notification needs to come from Lawrence if he's going to be the chair of the nominating committee. So the email needs to come to him. So number one, we need to get the email addresses to him if he's going to be that. And if in fact, no one else on the call wants to be part of that committee.
Okay. I think we can, I'm sorry, I think we can notify our members if what the committee is and give them the Lawrence and the committee members' email address, and they can contact them on their own. I think we should contact the membership as to who people are conducting the committee members are. Then they can, and contact info for them. They can contact committee members to submit their desires, if you will. So I think we should get the info to the members. And as to who want to nominate someone, then they send that to Lawrence. We should contact the membership as to what the timetable is and how to contact the committee itself.
All right, the next thing we need to do is decide which offices are we going to fill. We don't have enough members to have a second vice president. So presently we have president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and I really feel that there needs to be an assistant for both of those roles.
For which two, secretary and treasurer? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, there needs to be at least a financial secretary, someone to receive the money, and then another person who is responsible for depositing the money. Those are two separate roles. So what have I said so far? President, vice president?
Secretary, treasurer.
Secretary,
Yep.
treasurer, financial secretary. Is there something else we need?
Parliamentarian.
Parliamentarian.
That's what about laws.
Yep.
Okay. How many is that? How many? That's 1, 2, 6, that's 7 people.
That's
Yes.
6. Wait, president, vice president,
4.
secretary. That's
Secretary,
would be amended.
treasurer, financial secretary, parliamentarian, 6.
Yes.
Okay. Or is that 8? Let's see.
Wait, no, not 8, 6.
6, that's 7. Or is it 7? 1, 2.
No,
Six.
not 7, 6.
It's 6.
Okay. Well, 6 people. That's good. Okay. We can indicate to the committee that those 6 spots are to be filled. We can inform membership through the email process, membership email, in some detail, who to contact, the committee members, who to contact. And the next date is the election date. The notification, well, we got 2 things to do. We have to confirm the election date with the date for the roster to be completed with the 30 days prior to the election. Those 2 have to go together, which still doesn't give us a whole lot of time, actually. I don't think, but some, but not lots. In other words, the notice must contain also the committee determination, and that must be 30 days in advance of the election. Then working back. April 1st is 30 days.
30 days from when?
Working back, if the notification notice of the meeting of the elections must be 30 days prior to the election.
Okay.
It also should contain the people running for office at the same time. Well, I don't think that's true. I think we did have a deadline for those. Well, last time we didn't have that. We had the committee report came the day of the election, I think. Like with Phil.
You got a question, comment here, right, from our new member, Ms. Dillon. Ms. Dillon, you're on mute, so before you start.
Unmute yourself.
Would you name the officers again that you're looking for? You said president, vice president, secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer, financial secretary, and parliamentarian?
Yes.
So, okay.
That would be 7 if you get an assistant secretary,
If you did an
yes.
assistant secretary, it'd be 7, but yeah.
So it'd be 7 or 8?
Or no. So I think technically you're looking for 6. If you include an amended role of the assistant secretary, then you would add 7.
Okay.
So I was trying to work back in terms of the 30-day notice issue, if you will. And last time, I think Phil gave the report on the day of the election, didn't he? Did he do that? I think he did, actually. But there has to be some kind of link between the 30-day notice. We have to include the people who want to run for office. Then they got a short window, if you will. They got a short window in order to get to the committee. You got from the 18th of March to the 1st of February. That's 12 days. I guess that's enough time.
Well, is the process? It seems like are we backwards a little bit? Because you did, if I understood what you're saying, the state office has to have the slate of new officers by the end of April. Is that correct?
Correct.
So from there, then you would have to work backwards, because from the end of April, you give yourself, we've got now what? Less than 45 days. That puts us to the end of April. So everything has to be a little bit of adjusted timetable from that date, not necessarily from the communication date. I think we've got the communication already done in the notice that you sent out a while ago. So now it's just the election of officers and the election date. So you've got to set the election date and nomination to be between today and the end of April.
So the deal is the next meeting is scheduled for April 15th, which is our normal scheduled meeting.
Right.
And that means that everyone needs to have their information to Lawrence, who are interested in running, by the 31st of March. That would be almost exactly 2 weeks and 2 weeks, and then give you 2 weeks to get it to the state.
Right. Now all that's predicated on Reverend Powell agreeing to serve as the nominating chair.
That is correct.
Well, the other issue, but that still shouldn't be a problem. Other issue is that we give the people, I think 10 days is enough time for the people to get the notification of the committee chair and get the nominations in. The other thing is, when will the committee get their report? That's the other point we made.
What do they, I'm having difficulty remembering what the committee reported on the last time when we had an election, but
they present the slate of officers. That's all I know, that they present the slate of officers or potential officers that are interested in running. And they would have the ballot prepared. And then we'd have to figure out a way to do that via Zoom now, considering that we're not in person. So
Well, we have the voting buttons, that they provide at the bottom of the Zoom platform for things that you need to vote on that could easily be accomplished, in terms of the actual voting process or procedures that we're going to utilize. I don't think that there's any next extra steps that we have to put in place for the actual election in and of itself, except someone to count the tally of the votes that they are provided, during the election, on the election process, on the day, whatever that day is. So if it's you said it was the 15th is our next scheduled date. If that's the date that we so choose to use to actually have the election, then someone can actually modify that or, run that process for us in terms of just counting the votes that come in. Because to your point, everybody on the call, no one, aside from Mrs. Dillon would be eligible to, well, not say eligible, I guess anybody could do it. But from an ethics standpoint, you wouldn't want anybody currently tasked with both membership to be included in that process. Provided that they're on the executive board now.
Derek, aren't they tell about electronically? Aren't they tell it if you give a vote thing on the Zoom?
Yeah, they are, but it just seems odd to have someone currently running for office or in office to actually read that vote. That's all.
How do we share that vote? How do we share it?
So whomever, so you saying it another way, if it were I, and I'll use Brian as an example, not that I'm asking Brian to do it, but during the actual election process, if we're running, let's say Fred, and if you're running unopposed, then that makes less of a issue. But if there's an opposition or another candidate that's looking to run, then Brian could receive the vote tally and say, okay, as of now, the votes are totaling Fred, or the votes are totaling John Jones, or whomever it is that's running, and that would be the process.
Well,
and then you do that.
You're making a recommendation, Derek, via chat.
Yes.
Well,
You send that vote to the person, not to everyone, but you'd have to select in the chat button.
Yeah, to send it privately.
Yeah, to send the message privately.
Yeah. So there's no way for someone who is not a member there's no way to do an anonymous vote right now in terms of the process. Someone in the organization will know what the vote tally and who vote, how people voted.
Who would send the chat? Who would send the chat to that person who's going to share their vote? Who's going to send the chat?
Individual voting. So if the office is for president, like what Brian, he just sent a note in the chat. He sent it to everyone. But in that process, you would send it directly. So in the example that I've used, if Brian is receiving the votes, then when it's time to vote for president, Linda would send her vote to Brian. Fred, you would then send your vote to Brian. Mary would send her vote to Brian. And it would just simply be a name. And, for preservation's sake, for record's sake, you can always save the chat so you know exactly what the vote tally is going forward.
Okay.
Is that answer the question?
Yeah, that would handle that. But I just saw a chat from Brian. The DC, if their votes are transparent. Brian indicated that they have open voting. There's no secret ballot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I don't think for me, I don't.
Well, last time, I recall the first two that we had.
We lost Brian.
First election
we lost Derek.
I'm sorry. The very first two elections we had the last couple of years, they were secret ballot. The ones at the library were secret ballot. The ones at the DEC headquarters were secret ballot. So we've had secret ballot for the last couple of elections. So we can maintain that, in my opinion. That's fine with me. Or we can, past process with our secret ballot.
Right. When we organized, Glenda had us to, had us to vote, and someone went outside and counted them. But I want to say, and this may not impact us, but at that first or the initial meeting that we had for the caucus, if I'm running or if someone, the slate of officers are running for, if there's more than one running for a position, I think that somewhere, we need to have that particular person to introduce him or herself, because
Yes,
we have some new members and all members may not be familiar with who's running.
right.
And that happened the first meeting that we had. We were voting on people that we didn't even know, and I had no earthly idea whether they had the qualifications to run for that particular office. We don't have that many members, but we just, at least, we might want to introduce ourselves.
And maybe their plans for what they expect, the caucus to look like going forward. So I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Fred, when you ran, we heard from you prior to the voting process. I think you spoke or said a few words regarding who you were and what your thoughts were regarding the
Yeah, we
caucus leadership.
everyone. You're correct. Everyone did. You're right. You're right. There.
Yeah.
At the DC headquarters, there's a room behind the headquarters. Yeah, we met there for that election. That is true.
Yes, correct. Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Well, we could do that again. That's fine. Well, let's some more timetables. Somebody had a suggestion about 31st and the to get the nomination into the committee, and let's move it back to the 7th of April. Let's get a little more time, people to get their nominations in. I think 10 days is okay, but we could do more time now, in my opinion. The nominations in, we can send a list out of the nomination process, contact Lawrence and the committee. In the meantime, you can call around, check around, whatever you want to do, or do nothing. More time to get that process in place. Have a meeting on the 15th, as we usually do, and have a little longer meeting, of course, a longer meeting because it's an election meeting on the 15th. Right. And you could do I like to think the chat out there, send the votes to the chat person, and count the votes up, and that'll be it. So
well, to the point, I guess the question though would resolve. I don't know if it's necessary, if we have to, which set of guidelines we go by, but to Brian's point, if it's open and visible, is that something that we have to do? Brian, can we take us just a second? I feel we've been adding, acknowledge that Brian is on our call. Thanks for joining us. He is with the Young Democrats.
So if you don't mind, can I try and clarify
Sure.
my statement real quick? Okay. On the votes, we are supposed to, you sign the votes, fold it up, you send it in, and once it's at the table, you then count it. I believe at the end of that, if someone asks to look at like who the votes came from, right, that is known. Everyone knows, everyone on the board can see who the vote came from, and it can be requested for the count to be viewable by the membership.
Right.
Sorry, I want to be clear about what
yeah. I kind of figured that's what you were alluding to when you said it. So,
well, and in addition to that, Brian, will you introduce yourself? Because not everybody knows who you are. I don't, for one.
Sure.
And I don't think Mary does either.
I'm sorry. I'm Brian Siefstein. I'm the state committee man for Escambia's Democratic Executive Committee.
Okay.
So I took the job with a little bit of protest, but it's been a interesting time. We have basically, I go on Zoom meetings that can stretch for 12 hours for the votes. So it's good that I'm young for the endurance for that.
You got a big job, Brian. You got a big job, Brian, man. A big job. We got to get that governor out of the office, Tallahassee, man. DeSantis has to go. DeSantis has to go, Brian. So.
Very much so. Very much so.
Oh my God, that's the motivating factor. He has to go. So I took some timetable. That was good, Brian and Derek. Let's move it back to the 7th of April for the nominees to get into the committee, April 7th. And we still vote on April 15th, if you will, at the meeting. And we need 3 people on the committee. Actually, we have Lawrence, Anyone else want to volunteer? I can appoint someone later on. Either way, it's fine. I can't recall who's on the membership list, but I don't get one of my guys to be on my employees to be on the committee, if you will. But I may not do that anyway, but that wouldn't be good. But you need two other people on the committee. New members, I can convince. I'll try to convince two other people to join Lawrence. Need 3, and we accept my timetable April 7th to get the nomination in, and meeting and the vote is April 15th. Then we get that part done in terms of the timetables and the committee. Another issue is is that we take the responsibility of sending to the hopefully by the 29th of this month. No, it's too late. By the 22nd of this month, send out to all the members, the nominating committee, the email addresses, and then let the committee take it from there. List of officers who's up for election, and list of officers also, the people on the committee, and beyond those 2 items, what else needs to be done? Once we get that to the membership, to contact these people for that nomination, and I think we're good to go, aren't we?
You lost me just a bit.
I said there's the 18th of March. We got to get 3 on the committee. That'll take a couple days to get that done. Something as a timetable for this meeting, the executive board, and all one the same. By 22nd of March, we get to Derek, let him send out to all the membership, the nominating committee chair and the members, get out to all membership, all the members, what officers up for election, then the date of election again, and to contact the committee to submit nominations for the certain offices, and and that's other than those 3 or 4 items, what needs to be done in that regard.
I'm with you now. When you say the 22nd, I thought you were saying the 22nd of April.
Oh, no, March. Yeah, we're going to give them time to think about it, and hopefully, whoever is in office this next year, that with things lined up, so we can do more things. But that's another story there, another subject. But yeah, 22nd and the 7th and the 15th. 22nd for all info goes to the membership. The 7th is when they must submit their nomination to the committee, and the 15th is the election.
And when do you have time for individuals to introduce themselves and their candidacy?
That's a good question. So I threw it out there. Let's look at the thing the second time. Well, I think with the committee, that's just the question is, then what did the committee consider in making their selection, the committee selection? What do they consider in terms of the selection process? I mean, it doesn't indicate that in the bylaws what they consider. They meet and they make a decision. Your question was, when do they submit that to the committee? At what point?
Well, no, like what Linda was saying. When do they introduce themselves for those who are unfamiliar with individuals currently in membership and their desire to want to run for office?
Well, I think that's
if I got what you were saying, correct.
I remember. I think that's why you have the nominating committee. Committee does that for us, if you will. And then on the last point of that comment, at the day of election, anyone can be nominated from the floor. At the same time, the day of election, people can at that time tell the membership who they are, what their plans are, and the like. I don't think we got time for real campaign process.
Right.
We do, let me know. I mean, we can make one, but the day of the election, a longer meeting, and the half hour of the meeting process, we have a time for for speeches or presentations or whatever like before the vote takes place on the 15th. We do that on the 15th. People tell who they are and what their plans are.
Yep.
Have no doubt that, you know, we're such a small group that people can make a decision, you know, what to do on that day. And beyond that, one thing I didn't do though, Derek and Sandra, we need to put a date at the committee before the election day. The committee get to all the membership, their slate of officers. We need to get that out also, I think. They need the membership to know before the 15th who are the people recommended by the nominating committee. Before the 15th, who the committee recommended. So help me with these dates, those who got the calendars.
That's why I was saying the 31st of March, everybody needs to have that in so that everybody can be notified of who the slate of officers are, and maybe you can have that by the 7th. But I believe that it's too crunched to try to wait until the 7th of April to have everything out. You know what I mean?
31st to have, April 1st to have the.
31st or the 1st to have everything to the nominating committee. That would give you 2 weeks from today. Everybody should know. They'll receive the email. You're asking Derek to do an email on Monday, the 22nd, notifying all the membership of the list of officers that are available. And then they need to have that information and who the nominations committee person or persons are. And then they have until that April 1st date to get that information to the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the 7th, all the names should be on the slate.
Okay, I like that too. I'm
and everybody be notified by then, and then vote the following Thursday.
That timetable could be adjusted up, provided that, I guess the big thing is to get the okay or the yes or the agreement from Reverend Powell to serve in that capacity. Because again, everything that we're discussing is predicated on him assuming the role of the nominating chair, unless we reached out to, I think you said you did or did not. I think you said did not reach out already to Phil to see if you would be interested in whatever you did last time or whatnot. But whomever, someone needs to be identified sooner rather than later.
Yes, like tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight. Okay. Well, you know, let me call Pat. We could do it in real time. Call him right now. Make sure he's going to take the job. Just going to discuss that to the point. And also, need two more people also.
Okay, are we gonna check with Phil first, or you just calling Reverend Powell first?
Well, we discussed Phil since he's not a current member, if you will, for voting purposes.
Oh,
to take that committee out. We made the discussion.
That would be a great thing. I think that from a process standpoint would be a great. I guess from a look standpoint, I just disregard what I'm saying. Never mind.
I understand. I mean, Phil will be great. He did last. Phil will be great. He did a good job last time. You recall, real good job last time. He'd be super. He knows what he knows what it is, and you know, so he has the mechanics of it down, if you will. So you know.
The issue is that he didn't pay his dues on time, so he's not an official member. Is that the problem?
Well, I think he said he's a member. He just can't vote.
Vote. He's a member. He just can't vote. That's the difference. So I guess any member can. He could be it. He's a member. He can do it. Just gotta call Phil right quick. Phil will know. He will know what he's getting into on the immediately, if you will, immediately.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing.
I just include the proposed timetable so he knows what.
Yeah. We went to the Phil and I went to the Sandra could make it to the Pace Awards. Sandra, Phil, get your ticket. Oh, okay. You're on the call. You're on the call, Phil. You on the phone? Yeah, he's on the 1 second. Phil, you got a second? You got a second, Phil? we're trying to identify a nominating chair for our election process for the Black Caucus. He was our chair last time, and we sort of want to lean on you again to be the chair again for our nominating committee for this cycle. Are you? Election is April the 15th. It's election. April 15th is election day, and excuse me. Yes, that's true. We're looking at the April the 1st to get the nominating
Nominations in.
nominations in on April the 1st, and by April 7th, the committee makes a recommendation to the membership. Well, since you did it last year, but you were certain familiar with the process, generally speaking. So you as chair will be super of the committee. Okay. Okay, great. See, he would do it, Sandra. Yeah,
Thank you.
outstanding. We only got one person now. I guess we could put Ms. Burton Powell to a committee member, if you will. And then need one
And
more.
anyone else on the call who wants to work with them?
We'll get one more person to join you and Reverend Powell on the committee. Okay. So this is the road. We want to get that information out to the Sandra, Derek, to the membership by this Friday, if you will. Be the third person by tomorrow. Okay. Membership, the committee and list of officers, people when the office is open for election, the list of members, the list of officers, and committee members on the email, hopefully tomorrow. And you need your email, you need them to contact you with the nomination, of course. And by the Gmail address, so Gmail is better, by the 31st. Okay, telephone, Gmail. By April the 1st, by April 1st with their desired nominations. And then you make that report to the membership on April the 7th through our email process, our Zoom process, okay? And the 15th is the election. Okay. Yes, we don't have any staggered terms in the caucus. They are all up for election. Yes, we'll give you the 60 several people that offers it up for election. You have those in the email to you. And we'll blast the membership, and they'll blast you with their desired intentions. Okay, sounds good, man. Appreciate it. I'll let you. Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye. So he would do it. Membership, he would do it.
Wonderful. I just, for the sake of the process, and this is all fictitious, everybody should have gotten a pop-up for a poll, and we can also vote this way. And again, the names, I just stuck in the names of individuals on the call so that we could see exactly how the voting process, if we chose to use it in terms of polls in the Zoom, would work. I see people have voted, so we've got, well, just one person has voted thus far on my side, is what I see. So you can see exactly how that process would go. If someone was moderating, at least to your point, we don't see who's voting for what, but you do see votes coming in from my side. So you could do it that way, or we could do it via chat. However, it's whatever is best. So right now, just for sake of argument, if everybody on the call, Barbara, I know you probably don't see it, so you can disregard what I'm saying for now, but just could choose a candidate so we can get a tally in terms of what the vote looks like, and then when it ends, we can see exactly how the results are done.
Voting now. All right. I voted.
How do you vote now? How do you vote, Derek? You give it to me again.
Click on the name.
Opposed?
Just click on the name and hit next, or
Yeah.
two
Mhm.
questions. I just did president and vice president.
Yeah, he just did an example for us.
Just an example.
Just an example. So choose the name for president, choose the name for vice president, and submit. Mary,
Okay,
you
I got
and Linda do it as well.
I have it now. Thank you. I have it. Thank you very much. Okay.
You won't see it highlighted or anything to know that you clicked. As long as you just click on a name and hit next, then it records it. And then once you're done, hit close.
Mine closed by itself. I wonder why. Anyway, I didn't have.
I did it on my iPad and I had to press it, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
So everybody's voted, and right now everything's closed, and I can share the results from my end. Everybody should be able to see exactly what the vote came to be.
Mhm.
So you see, out of everybody who voted, it was a three-way split for office. Just kind of worked out like that, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Equity.
That's how it would come out.
Equity, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's how it should show up in this thing. So there's no way to manipulate or do any of that stuff or, alter. It's right there.
We Democrats, we ain't worry about it. We ain't worry about the kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Democrats, not Republicans. We don't worry about that there. We're not worried about that.
It's preserved for record and whatnot. So you have it there.
Okay. So, Super, we got that.
Perfect. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. We get that sort of all planned out. Super duper outstanding. Any more questions about the election or the process, the election, or any of the dates or timetables or whatever? We need that third person for. I'm gonna choose someone. If the committee give me the okay for third person, I'll choose someone, if you will, for that third person, if you don't mind. If that's okay with the committee, other membership.
I could resign from my position and I would nominate Derek for vice president. Then I could be on the committee.
No, we didn't want that. We want you as vice president. One more term.
Come on now. Come on.
We didn't want that. One more just.
I would ask, but to Ms. Sandra's point, I would ask, or I guess as we do it with the FDP and everything else, that at least we have some opposite. It's fair in terms of gender. So another person should hopefully or would hopefully be female. I hate to put either Miss Dillon or Linda Scott on the in the spotlight, but if either one of them would work,
Would agree to do it.
Provided, I don't know if you have plans.
One of you might be planning on running for office though, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I didn't know if you had.
I'm not planning on running for office.
So, and Ms. Dillon is waving. Are you agreeing or no? You're on mute.
Ms. Scott, Linda not gonna run. So Linda, you're not gonna run for election?
No.
You're not gonna, Linda? Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna run for no office either. So that's out of the question because I'm just coming in. So, and I just want to be familiar with everything before I do anything, volunteer to do anything.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. We'll have to get third person between now and tomorrow morning, Derek and Sandra. Okay. The next thing is we're going to opportunity, if you will. We need to get some kind of virtual fundraiser or virtual presentation of some sort. This push one is you have to vote still. Vote education. I think one thing we get is if the next meeting, the April meeting, if we have time, or sometime in April, what's happening in Tallahassee. There's some kind of analysis of what happened in Tallahassee. Analysis of what's happened in Tallahassee. Knows the Black legislature, people out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami, Jacksonville, the host in our meeting and tell us what the issues are, what is taking place in Tallahassee for this session. After the fact, but nonetheless, what took place, how did the new bills going to affect our community? Yeah, and I think that's an easy one to put together. In other words, if I want a Black legislatures and our senators to come to our meeting, a Zoom meeting, call it a presentation, and them explain the issues, laws, bills, HBs and SBs that passed this year, how they were considered, how they're going to affect the Black community. Because we don't have a state legislature in our area, in this Northwest Florida, on the Tallahassee going south. So if someone to tell us what's happening in Tallahassee, how the bill got passed, the bill intent, from our perspective, I think that'll be easy to do. Yeah, because they want to be invited to speak, of course. That's what do, speak to people, the legislatures. Easy to do. And also good way of sharing with our people in Northern West Florida what laws are taking place. I think we get an interest with that. We hype it up. We can publicize it. Then people will call in. They'll be a part of that Zoom presentation. Know what's going on. Tallahassee. How new bill is going to affect them. I think that'd be an easy, well, one of many, hopefully, things we can do in the next month or so to start sharing information with the public, with the Black community in Pensacola. I think that'd be an outstanding idea. Any comments on that idea? Any other comments on other presentations we can do? Just facilitate through Zoom.
Yeah.
Linda?
No comments, but I'm gonna have to leave the meeting because I'm chairing a meeting in 2 minutes. So I'll have to leave. Thank you. I'll see you next.
So everything that we cover thereafter, you'll be able
Okay.
to.
Okay. So we need to do some kind of presentation. Derek, is Sandra gone too?
No, she's here.
Okay. Need some kind of presentation that we can do without a whole lot of heavy lifting, if you will. Informative, relevant, and needed. That's the first three adjectives I think we should consider. Informative, easy and relevant to our base, our members in the community. And let them know what's happening in Tallahassee, because a lot of us just don't know what's happening in Tallahassee. We just don't know. I've been keeping up a little bit the last few weeks, actually, a little bit, but I should do more. But share with them what's going on. I wish we had done this beforehand, but I just got the idea recently. But if we get something, even if it's next meeting for, whatever the timetable, get it done ASAP.
I mean, meeting after next.
Yeah, in May even, what took place in the last session. Or anyone knows anyone who, any national figure that we know, rub shoulders with, with state officers or other parts of the country, invite them to our Zoom presentation. People like being asked to speak. People like being asked to be highlighted. I know one of us know somebody somewhere. I know the guy David Haley in St. Louis. That's my law school classmate. He's a state rep in St. Louis, Missouri, but that's too far away. That's Alex Haley's nephew. The guy that lost in St. Louis. Other guy, he's in Missouri. The guy that Congressman lost in St. Louis last election process. The guy who took his daddy's seat for years. He's been a law school classmate also. He lost to this female last election process. But he's all hat now. We gotta know someone who knows someone we can invite to our Zoom meeting. And that's the Derek. You know a lot of people.
Well, I have, the very first person that comes to my mind, of course, it kind of would be double duty because you just spoke 2 days ago. Is Nikki.
Nikki Peely.
Yeah, Nikki Freed. She would have been, and still is, a great choice had it not been that she just spoke to the Panhandle on Tuesday.
Oh wow!
So with that, and I have a recording I can happily share with you guys if you did not get a chance to see it. She spoke for about half an hour to the Panhandle DECs, and she did a tremendous job, of course. She always does. So she just kind of gave her a backstory and how she got to where she is. I know many of you may not be as familiar. If you didn't know that I knew her, she certainly pointed it out on Tuesday. The very first thing that she said before she said anything else was, "Hey, Derek," and I was like, "Oh, okay, hey." But she's an incredible leader, and she all but said, well, she said the question was asked, of course, if she was going to be running for governor, and she didn't give an answer, but I've known her for 20 plus years, and we've sidestepped in terms of stuff that we've done. She preceded me, she's preceded me as Senate president at Florida, and I preceded her as student body president. When after me, it was her. So I've known her for a while. So she all but confirmed that she's running, but she didn't confirm it. So, she would be a great person to cover, but like I said, she just spoke, so I don't know how open she would be to saying it over again. But nonetheless, that to the point of what you're making in terms of what's going on, we could find someone. I don't know state legislature people in Tallahassee, but I'm assuming someone would be able to. We could easily identify, and if not, I can lean on someone from the DEP to recommend or walk through who would the best person to be in terms of next steps. Also, even if it's not on the state level, we do have a newly appointed vice chair for the state, Dr. Karen Green, who is over all diversity initiatives and things of that nature with respect to the caucuses going forward under Manny Diaz's leadership. I certainly could get her to come on and walk through what she sees or identifies, or maybe even her goals for the next step as it relates to the caucuses. And when I say I use it plurally, because I'm including Hispanic, disability, environmental, all of those that fall under the diversity inclusion umbrella, to work through what her plans are and working with us and working with the identified caucuses for next steps. Certainly I think she would be amenable to presenting on with that for us going forward. It all depends on how we want to look at it.
Yeah. Well, good comments, Derek. Good comments. I think things you mentioned, Nikki, our commissioner, if we, even if we broadcasted her speech, if that was our presentation to redo her speech, that'd be a great idea, because and a momentum to she run for governor more than likely. I hope she does.
Yeah.
People get to know her in this area, this part of the country. They get to know Nikki Freely in this part of the state, if you will. Unless there's a drum beat toward a water toward building her up. I think that would be, we can hype that, promote that, and get people. A lot of people though. I was talking to Georgia Blackman the other week, and she mentioned she's gonna support Nikki. She's gonna support Nikki, and she just love Nikki. So Georgia's like, Georgia Blackman, huh?
She would not support Nikki?
Yeah, she will. She will.
Oh, okay.
She loves Nikki.
Oh, okay.
She loves Nikki. But I mean, she kind of engaged in the political process. A lot of people not, but we hype Nikki up now, build her up, like a crescendo, and we can start with her speech to the panel of DC on the Black Caucus Network.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna need the Black people to come out for her. They're gonna need to know her and like her and appreciate her, for the win, because we got to come out and we are the linchpin to Nikki winning the governorship, in my opinion. Okay, we just are.
I have a question, Derek. You don't have to get permission to share that video, do you?
No.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go with that one for as soon as we can, and I'll try to get Black legislatures, Black Senator legislatures to do it at our next meeting, maybe in June, perhaps, or whenever the case calls for it. Let's get that out for the next meeting. Promote it, Nikki, the governor. Well, Nikki, our commissioner. Let's promote that in terms of. Did she speak on things that involve our community, Derek? Did she speak on things that address the community?
No, it wasn't specific to the minority community. She talked about it. Basically, it was more around her platform, what she used to cover, what she covered in terms of her election process. She talked about her backstory. I mean, essentially going back to childhood as to how she got to where she is. Because I mean, you know her, she's polished, but Nikki hasn't always been the Nikki Free that we know her as we know of her today. So it was interesting. Some of the things that she covered, I even forgot. She brought back a couple of the points about the process. If you're a lot of most of you guys are not familiar. I know even you went to Florida, Fred, but may not be as familiar with the
the wheelhouse that is student politics there, but it's
I know it is. Yeah.
it's ridiculous to the point, she made a point of the people's attire when they go to Senate meetings. And I was caught off guard when they I had my first Senate meeting. So I was like, what in the world? But it's kind of like, okay, it's not that deep, but it is that deep. To the point she covered that in her focus on marijuana, the legalization of medicinal marijuana in the state. It was covered. It was only 30 minutes, so it wasn't much she could cover, but they did leave some time for question and answers. And the hot topic of everybody's question was, are you running for governor? And she talked about it being open for consideration, which
she's
all practical intents and purposes. Yeah.
She's our best hope at this point. She's our best hope.
She's the only person poised in the position right now to actually give whomever the Republican nominee is, if it's DeSantis or whoever, an actual competition. She fully supported the only thing I could think about that would have touched on the Black community was she did talk about her support and love for Andrew. We all remember him. Although he went to FAM, he initially started out with his perspectives as coming to Florida. I remember
really?
He was initially going to come to Florida, and we hosted him the summer before his freshman year as a potentially identified minority student leader to kind of walk him through the process of what it would take to matriculate through the UF student body system and come out on the successful end. And at the very last minute, he switched and decided to go to FAM. So, we've known Nikki has known him for a long time. I know I have as well. And she talked about her support of him and hoping that he was going to become our governor. And she didn't cover anything about him, present day or what she hoped for him in terms of plans or future prospects. But,
Well, that's good. Okay. Well, let me tell you, my political life in Florida, I ran for the student government first semester in Florida, second semester in Florida, back in 1971. I didn't win in 71, but what happened though, that same year, the first Black president of the student body was a guy named Sam Taylor. He won it off as the first Black guy, student body president of Florida, a guy named Sam Taylor from Gainesville. Okay. Yep. And I was on Sam's cabinet. As the minority affairs person on Sam's cabinet. You know Sam, Derek?
Yes, we know, all of the student body presidents know, well, we all know each other, but certainly those of us of color can identify everybody, who the individuals are who have preceded us. We have a great network.
That's super.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but, the person that remains active for us would be Pam Pinkham.
Sam was brilliant. Sam was a good guy. Great.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to leave the meeting now. So, and I'll have to get back with you all and see what I missed later. Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
We have another meeting as well. Okay. So anyway, what else we need to do, Fred? Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary, for coming. I appreciate that. Well, we know other than the financial report, I'll give that next time, if you will. That's the main thing. It's the 7:07:05 now, almost 7:10. Anything else we'll leave for the agenda for the next meeting?
What I want to make sure is that Barbara gets on the bank statement. She needs to get on the account because she is our treasurer. She's on there already?
No, not yet. Let me know.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so Barbara needs to get on there. I was not able to get her email to go through, but I sent it to Linda, and Linda was able to get her the information that we sent off to the state.
While I have you, I just want to confirm, Barbara, that I have the right. Could you just share your email again so we have it correct to make sure we got it for the listserv and everything? Is it B.A. Petty?
Okay,
Petty?
It's B.A. Petty 715@gmail.com.
That's what I have. Okay, making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Hey, Derek, where did you finish Florida, Derek? What year did you graduate Florida, man?
2000.
Okay. That's great. That's super. All righty. Well, we will table everything else for the next meeting. If no after that we say we'll end the meeting. Motion to
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Yep.
So moved.
So moved. Yep. Second it. And thank you, Brian, for attending. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian, man. Appreciate
You're
it,
welcome.
Brian. You got a tough job, Brian.
Come to more meetings.
You got a tough job, man. I'm counting on you, Brian. I'm counting on you, Brian. I'm counting on you, man. Okay. Get the standards out of there.
I
Okay.
will certainly try my best.
Have a
I
good
really will.
night.
Everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.